Whoo boy, catch your breath after that one, my friends. Arizona dominating BYU for about 95% of that game. Maybe that's not fair. BYU was in it for the first 10 minutes or so, but Arizona, up until the final minute of that game, had it in a total chokehold. Looked every bit the number one team in the country tonight until they just completely fell apart in the final minute of the game that almost allowed BYU to complete one of the more improbable comebacks that you will ever see. But the Cougars do fall short. Arizona holds on. They win by one field goal, 86-83. I was going to say 1 point. It was one until the last two free throws. 86-83, the final for Arizona. Welcome into the Open for Business Big 12 podcast, a little bit of live Open for Business after dark. I am your host, John Kurtz. Thank you for joining me, those of you who are here. This is a big enough game tonight. I had nothing else going on. I thought, why not tune in and make sure that I catch the entirety of this one? And what a game it was. At least I got a good finish out of it. You know, for a while I was sitting here like, this has basically just been an Arizona infomercial tonight. That's really what it's set up as for a very long time until the crazy comeback. I mean, Arizona is just overwhelming. Like that's the only word that really came to mind as I was watching them, or at least it was the prevailing thought I had. Like, they just overwhelm you. They are so good defensively. And that played out at the very end of the game, right? With the defense from Burries to come from behind and block Rob Wright. But really it was all that was about Jaden Bradley's defense that forced the block to happen anyway. So great defense all the way around from Arizona. They just had BYU's stars really tied up in knots the entire game. That's the story. The way Arizona just defended BYU and put them in a chokehold. And, you know, the combination of Rob Wright, AJ DeBonsta, and Richie Saunders couldn't get on cork tonight. I mean, especially Rob Wright, that's a night to forget for him. That's not one that he's going to want to go back to. But like, Arizona just walked into a totally juiced atmosphere, getting number one at home. Not a thing that happens very often there. It's the 15th anniversary of Jimmer Fredette just going nuts and dropping 43 in one of the best moments in that building's history. And Arizona just walked in there and coolly, calmly built a 19-point second half lead. I mean, they're good, ladies and gentlemen. They are very good. I don't think that there is a more physically menacing team in the country than the Arizona Wildcats. I will put it that way. But I'll talk more about the good for Arizona in just a minute, because we have to just recap what happened down the stretch in that game, which was crazy. With 1:06 left, it's an 11-point game. And you've got AJ DeBonsa at the free throw line to shoot three. He gets fouled on a three. So he's got three free throws. He misses two of three. There's a rebound on a missed free throw. Kick out. Rob Wright bangs a three. So now you've got it down to a 7-point game. Awaka, I think it was, got one of two on the other end. You have a Keita rebound and one. Then you've got a steal on the rebound and a flagrant one foul that occurs after that, right? Then you've got the two flagrant free throws go in. AJ DeBonsa had a drive where it sure looked like they could have called a foul. They did not. If you want to say BYU got a bit of a rough whistle there, that's fine. I didn't think the officiating was great down the stretch, and there were a couple instances on both sides. Arizona, I'm sure, will have something to say about that. But then you have a 1 of 2 free throw trip. You get the lob to Keita that I believe at that point had it down to 3. You got an offensive foul on Jaden Bradley. You've got a rebound and a stick back. Then you've got the tie up on Bradley. I mean, it was just one thing after another. And some of this is Arizona playing poorly, melting down a bit. Some of it is just BYU playing its butt off. I mean, that's one thing you can say about the Cougars. It was not a great night offensively for BYU, but they were playing hard down the stretch. And that's the only way that you can pull off any kind of comeback like that. I mean, you think about what happened there. There's a rebound and one. It's another rebound / like Rob Wright kind of stealing the ball off of a rebound, knocking it over to AJ DeBonsa. That's when the flagrant one occurs. I mean, it was just was like all effort in that comeback to make it a 1-point game when it was an 11-point game. And a 1-point game, BYU with the ball, by the way, somehow having a chance for the last shot. Now, if I'm Arizona, I mean, I am not crazy at all about the offensive foul that got called on Jaden Bradley, for sure. As Fran pointed out, I mean, it looked like there was a lot going back and forth between both of those guys, and you very easily could have just called it a foul on Rob Wright in the first place. But okay. But then if you're going to do that and immediately not give Jaden Bradley the benefit of being mugged pretty good over on the sideline, calling it a tie up there, I didn't love the combination of those in succession. Now, again, some of this is if you're BYU and you're just playing that hard, like you are just playing your rear end off at that point in the game, you're going to force some of those things to happen. Sometimes that stuff is you're going to get fortunate with a call or two, especially when you're playing at home. So that's why you got to do it. Put it in the officials' hands for sure. But if I'm an Arizona fan, I would have been infuriated by what happened there. And for a second there, I mean, it looked like Rob Wright gets the running start, drives into the lane, and Jaden Bradley walled him off. But when Bradley like stumbled back, you thought for a split second there, you're like, they're going to do this. Like Rob Wright has a wide open path to the basket. They are going to do this. This is going to turn into a game-winning shot here, or at least a go-ahead shot. But tremendous recovery by Braden Burries, man. Braden Burries hustles, comes back over the top, gets a clean block, and swats it away from Wright. And that just, in spite of the comeback, that really felt like the appropriate way for this game to end, with how pesky and long and strong and rugged of a team Arizona is. To win the game on a block shot from behind like that, that seems very, very befitting of what this Arizona team is. So all the credit in the world to BYU for hanging in there on a night when its stars really struggled offensively and putting together a crazy comeback that almost gave us one of the most memorable finishes, certainly in recent memory, maybe in Big 12 history for the conference. But Arizona does hold on. They are 21-0. They are for my money, the best team in the country. Every time you watch them, it feels like a men amongst boys kind of thing. And that's when you're talking about this BYU team, like this is a BYU team that I think is legit Final Four contender. And Arizona on the road looked like men amongst boys for a huge portion of this game tonight, because I started to make this point earlier. Arizona, I think, is the most physically menacing team in the country. They just have a group of guys that look unbelievable coming off the bus, and they play like it. Like this isn't look like Tarzan, play like Jane kind of a situation, right? It's Tarzan all the way around, man. Koa Pete, Owaka, like that. I think it was the first half, right? When some people got tangled up. I was like, I don't know that I'd be trying to mess around much with Owaka there if I'm a BYU player. Karchenkov, not only, the whole Russian vibe is sort of a menacing thing. And then he's got the cupping marks on his arm. It's just like, okay, that just makes you look even more intimidating. This whole front line just looks jacked, intimidating. I mean, the guards, Bradley and Burries, they're pretty thick themselves. Like these are not just skinny, teeny little guards that Arizona's running out there. And they're pretty balanced, Obviously, it was Bradley and Burries who powered most of the scoring in the first half, but then they can go inside. Maybe it's at the shot clock buzzer. How big of a shot was this, right? The game got down to a 1-point game. Koa Pete had that contested fadeaway jumper at the very end of the shot clock buzzer. That was just insane shot. Asinine, had no business going in. But Koa Pete sticks it. I mean, they're great. They can beat you in so many different ways. I mean, Bradley and Burries combined for, let's see, that'd be 53 points tonight. No, I got that wrong. 55 points tonight. 55. Burries had 29 and Bradley had 26. Jaden Bradley is one of my favorite players in the country to watch because it's so different, man. He's the mid-range merchant. He's the mid-range merchant. He's the only guy out there in the year of our Lord 2026 taking 15-foot jumpers like it's going out of style, man. Like he just watched The Last Dance and is trying to be MJ. And he was just crushing it, man. He was just crushing it. Trying to see here. So he had 2 threes made. He took 15 shots. Only 3 of them were threes. You know, how many guards are taking 12 twos and 3 threes in a competitive basketball game these days? Not something that's happening. But yeah, I was going to say, what else do I have on Arizona here? Just the thing that they would do is every time up until the very end, every time BYU would start to make any kind of a mini run, 5-6-0 run, Arizona was right there. Someone's hitting a tough shot. Someone's taking it right to the rim. Someone's dotting a 3 right in your face. I mean, they had an answer every single time because there's too much scoring. Like they can score from any of those levels, and they're too good defensively to allow you to string very much together. So once it got out to like a double-digit lead, it felt like, once again, last minute notwithstanding, that it was going to be impossible for BYU to come back. It just never really felt like that was going to happen until the run got away from them a bit in that last minute. But hey, Tommy Lloyd, insane coaching job this year. 4 of the 8-man rotation, 4 members of the 8-man rotation are freshmen. And they're playing like that. They look as good as they do. They look every bit the number 1 team in the country. The guy's doing something right. A lot of good basketball in the Big 12, a lot of good teams in the Big 12. Arizona's, I don't think they're going to go undefeated. I'm sure they will probably lose at some point. But having watched now, obviously BYU, but then Houston and Texas Tech playing some high-level basketball games here in the last few days, I mean, I think Arizona definitely does look the best of the bunch. I would stand by that statement right now. They're earning that number 1 ranking. And, when you talk about the defense, this will just tie into some BYU takeaways here too. And by the way, guys, if you do want, you can submit a super chat. I see that I have one there. Thank you for that. Obviously, fill up the regular chat. But if you want to submit a super chat, click the $ below the chat box. I appreciate those of you who do that. You just look at the box score for BYU. They shot only 40%, 13 of 34 from 3. Even 12 of 19 from the free throw line. It was just not a great shooting night for the Cougars all the way around. But, I guess Richie Saunders, his line actually wound up looking pretty good by the time he fouled out. 18 points on 7 of 11 shooting. He had to earn it, though. I mean, Richie Saunders was absolutely earning it tonight. And then it's A.J. DeBonsa and Rob Wright. DeBonsa was 6 of 24, 1 of 8. From 3-point range. Now he got to the line a lot and went 11 of 16 at the free throw line, but too many jumpers tonight from DeBonsa, and that was something that felt very apparent. But that's really what Arizona forces you to do. It's tough to drive inside there, and Arizona seemed about the best that I've witnessed this year at maintaining that principle of verticality, being straight up underneath the basket, not reaching over and fouling, like defending without fouling at the rim. Arizona is elite at, and felt like DeMonsa was getting frustrated with that at times. And that's a part of why you have to then step back and take more jumpers. Now, the J was falling against Utah, and that's how you get a 40-point game out of DeMonsa. A pretty efficient 40-point game, by the way. I think that was on 24 shots as well, wasn't it? And then tonight also is, but he only makes 6, and it's a 24-point effort on 24 shots, so not efficient at all from DeBonsa. Only 1 of 8 from 3-point range. And some of those threes I really hated. One of them got rebounded there in the final minute, but I hated the shot from DeBonsa. He second half at one point he took a fairly contested 3 when he could have just flipped it over to Richie Saunders, who would have had a more open look, and I'd rather he be the guy taking that shot anyway. So it's going to happen. I mean, DeBonsa, even on a night where he struggles, he got 24 points. So, he's a good player. Rob Wright's the other one that was just very disappointing. Rob Wright, 7 points, 3 of 16 shooting, 3 of 16 tonight. He was 1 of 5 from 3-point range. He did have 5 assists, 1 turnover. So you like that, but you have to get more offensively from Wright. His jumper just looked off, in the first half. Even it just were a couple of the jumpers that he took, and I thought it just something looks different. I don't know if that is all attributed to the size, the length that Arizona has really bothering Wright. I'm not entirely sure what was going on there, but he just seemed out of it from the start, and finally hit one big three in the charge toward the end of the game. But other than that, there was not a lot happening. Was clearly frustrated and bothered, and it makes sense, with his size being a little bit more diminutive, that Arizona would have a chance to really, really bother him. And then, I guess another fitting thing about the ending is on a frustrating night for Wright offensively, where he's not converting much at all from the floor. It looks like he's got what's going to be the game-winning shot opened wide up for him, and he gets blocked from behind. Fitting on a couple of fronts there for the way that went down. I guess the silver lining for BYU is that Kennard Davis, who came into the game, or at least after his first couple misses, had missed 17 straight three-pointers. He went 5 of 8, but you take that away, so the team's 13 of 34, 5 of 8. The team was 8 of 26. The rest of BYU's roster was 8 of 26 from three-point range tonight. That's not going to get it done. You're going to need more than that. And out of the 19 free throws that BYU shot tonight, 16 of those were for DeBonza. So nobody else really had that. And that's where, DeBonza is about the only guy that's got the length and the size and the strength to be able to get to the free throw line against this front line that Arizona has. I heard that Arizona has not been out rebounded this year. Makes a lot of sense. BYU, good effort on the glass, 39-37. It was only a 2-point advantage tonight for Arizona on the glass, but it feels like it's going to be damn near impossible to out-rebound them at really any point this year. So, all right, let's see what we got here in the chat. And we'll start with the super chat here from Norin Rudin. Thank you, Norin, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But Norin says, like the show, some history. FYI, every time Tony Padilla is on a ref crew, the end of games will always have controversy. He hates Arizona and the only official we know by name. It's funny because I saw him getting called out, I think, on both sides. Was it Jay Drew that I saw tweeting about that earlier tonight? I saw a lot of tweets out there from both sides of the ledger, BYU and Arizona, not real thrilled with the officiating crew, even from before the game started. So let's see. I'm going to have to scroll through a lot of Jay Drew tweets here, but from the beginning of the game. Yep. Jay Drew said, don't shoot the messenger. Jay Drew, a beat writer for BYU at the Deseret News, does a great job. Don't shoot the messenger. Officials for tonight's BYU versus Arizona basketball game: Kip Kissinger, Marcus Pettigrew, and ... Tony Padilla. He said, should mention that Tony Padilla is the official who sent Richie Saunders to the free throw line for the game-winning free throws with a few seconds left in BYU's 1-point win over Arizona last year in Tucson. So maybe that was in the back of the minds of Arizona fans, Norin Rudin. I'm sure that's a part of what you're referencing here. I had not put 2 and 2 together there as the end of that game was happening, where Arizona fans are probably having that same sort of visceral reaction. So yeah, fair enough. I'm looking at some quotes here. Tommy Lloyd, this is Jay Drew says, Tommy Lloyd said, quote, we did have great officials tonight, when he was asked about the flagrant 1 call on Burries. That sure seems like it's probably some sarcasm. Tommy Lloyd also said, quote, it felt like everything at the end went against us, but our guys found a way. Now, that is definitely true. Everything, whether you agree with the officiating or not, whether you agree with the calls or not, everything at the end of the game definitely did seem to be going BYU's way. A lot of breaks caught there, some of which they made on their own, and that is a part of it. Norin, I appreciate it. Thank you for your support of the channel. Thank you for being here, and congratulations to your Cats for picking up the victory. Roy, what's up, Roy? Roy says, congratulations to the Cats. You made the play when it counted most. See you in the return match. Go Cougars, go Big 12. That is awesome that we will get another matchup of these two teams later on this year. So, Roy, thank you for the sportsmanship. Very nice of you to come in with that. And thank you for your support of the channel, my friend. I would love to watch, if I could watch that ending again, if I could get that type of an ending in Tucson, I would definitely take it. All right. Let's see. I was going to scan the chat real quick before I take off and see if there was anything that caught my eye here. The goaltending, that goaltending call was that was iffy. That was iffy in the first half. Now, there are a million things. I'm sure Arizona fans would have a bunch of things that they would want you to go back and look at too across the way. So that's a tricky game to play, even at the end when it was really as tight a game as it was. But yeah, I can understand being a bit perturbed by that if I were a BYU fan. We got some arguing about the hook called late. Hey, look, D Salazar, I see the Arizona logo in here. You deserve a chance to celebrate a little bit here. D Salazar, bear down. Sometimes the W is not a pretty one. We kind of stopped playing the last 90 seconds. Ugh. Yeah, sometimes a home team in front of a juiced environment like that, all they need is like 2 or 3 plays to get rolling, and it can start to spiral on you. And it's tough to get out of that, even if you have dominated them for the entire game. That's life on the road. That is why playing on the road is so difficult, and why home court advantage is really a thing. Because Arizona was completely focused like the entire way until you just let your focus slip a little bit, give them some life. The crowd gets behind it. And it is quite literally, it's just the invisible force, man. It's momentum. It starts moving and it changes things a lot. We definitely saw an example of that. So D Salazar, congratulations. Congratulations on your squad getting the W tonight. Okay. Well, I think that's going to do it for me. It's late. It's 11 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone. I'm tired. I got to get to bed. I got to work a day job tomorrow. I'm sure most of you do too. But thanks for popping in and hanging out for a little bit after this one. Classic ending. I wouldn't call it a classic game, but a classic ending in Big 12 Hoops tonight. We all got treated to that. So please do like the video and subscribe to the channel. Both of those things help a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are here, we are barreling toward 30,000 subscribers. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Let's continue that push to get there. You can subscribe to the Open for Business Big 12 newsletter at ofbnews.com. That's ofbnews.com. I just sent one out earlier today. It comes to your inbox twice a week, totally for free. And if you want national college football news and my takes on it, you can subscribe to the OFB College Football channel. Just search OFB College Football. That's going to do it for me, guys. Once again, take care. Enjoy the rest of your night, hey, get to bed, get some sleep, get some rest, and go crush it tomorrow. And I will talk to you all later this week. Take care.